Hello, this is your friendly nurse and health coach, and I'm coming to you today on QAs of processed foods. And we have some questions already, and send in your questions that you have on processed foods, and we are here to answer your questions today. The first question that I have on processed foods are, what is processed foods? And processed foods is any food that has been altered in some way during the preparation of that food. Any way that it was altered, a move from its original state, is what processed foods is. The next question is, how are they altered? They're altered in many ways: heating, dicing, chopping, grounding, cut up, freezing, juicing, in any way that they are changed from its original state. This is processed food in some way or another. The third question is, what are ultra processed foods? Someone says. Ultra processed foods are the foods that are made from substances that extracted from foods. They extract and make different things in everybody. This is processed, such as fats. They may out, they may take the starches out, add sugars, add salts, or what we call hydrogenated fats, where chemicals are involved in it. They may do additives, artificial coloring, dyes, artificial sweeteners. All these things will make up the processing of the food. And processed foods processes in many, many ways, chemicals and physical, when they change the original form of the food. Let's see, I got another question here. It says, what percentage was it that I said made up the caloric part of the processed food? And this was 60% made up the caloric part of the processed food, which is almost half of our food intake. Is 60% is over half. 50% will be a half of our food intake. So 60% is the caloric intake of our processed food that we take in as we take in different foods. Let's see, I got another question here. It said, what do they hope to gain by processing foods other than going through the first processing of it, the physical processing of it, other than chopping, grounding, freezing, mixing? Those are the physical processes of food. They said, what do they hope to gain by doing the ultra processing, when they do their additives and the, taking out, putting in? What are they trying to gain by this? That's what the question is saying. And they are trying to reduce the food waste in the world, and to feed more people in the world, because the population is growing more and more and more. So they're trying to stretch the food by adding stuff, taking out stuff, making it more sweeter, more saltier, more appealing to the people. And also they trying to make a longer shelf life of the food, and that's why they put the additives and the dyes and the sweeteners, making it more sweeter, more saltier, and all the ultra processing of the food for it to be on the shelf longer and for the people to have more food to eat. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. All right, I got another question here. Let's see. So I said that when they are cooked at a high heat, starchy foods, they are producing carcinogens, which is cancer chemicals, and some of them are called acrylamide. Acrylamide is a very cancer-causing chemical. It's produced when they take starchy foods and they heat them up at a high heat, and it's very dangerous for the body because there's a lot of cancer going around, and that's one way people are getting cancer. Let's see what else question I got here. Got another question here. Says, what are some of the things the ultra processing of the food does? Okay, it brings out the nutrients, take out the nutrients, the good nutrients. It take out the water. It take out the natural sugars. They take out the fibers. They take out the nutrients that can be good to your body. Um, and also, when they doing the ultra processing of it, they release dopamine from your brain, which make you want to have more and more of this kind of food, and increase your taste buds. All right, let's see. Number 8. What did you say the artificial dyes in the food do to children? Artificial dyes in the food mess with the child attention disorder. Give them an attention disorder. They won't don't be able to pay attention as long. Their attention span be very shortened by dyes in the food, and also have the children hypersensitive and hyperactive. So it's very dangerous to children, these artificial dyes in the foods that they do when they ultra process it. That's the second part of the chemical processing of the food. Okay. Anybody have any questions yet? Nobody have any question up there? Okay. Another question that someone sent in says, does high heat kill bad and good bacteria? And the answer was yes. High heat kill bad and good bacteria. It's designed to have a long shelf life, to go from like 2 weeks shelf life to 3 months shelf life. But it also started when they done ultra pasteurizing back in 1860 in the French. Done to ultra pasteurizing of milk and animal products, and to extend the shelf life of food. And they carrying it on to this day, and they uh, putting the heat higher and higher in the food, and causing it to kill both good bacteria and bad bacteria, both of them. Okay, let's see what else. What else I got here? What do we lose in food? Someone said from ultra processing. We lose the natural sugars, some fats that we need, vitamins, enzymes, which are very important to the body. We lose all this. see, we got a question here. So you use, okay. Some example ultra processed foods is candies, cookies, cakes, baked goods, chips, uh, processed meats, bologna, bacon, everything that's out of its original state. Ultra processed food. They now put more chemicals, more artificial dyes in it, artificial flavoring in it, more sweetness, more sugar than recommended dose. Cooked at a high heat. This is all forms of ultra processed foods. Let's see another question. Someone says, what do enzymes do for the body? Enzymes are very helpful for the stomach, for our stomach processes of our food that break down our foods, and our enzymes are. And if the enzymes be taken out of the foods, guess what? Your food can't properly break down, and you may have stomach problems and problems digesting your food. And if you got problems digesting your food, you're gonna have some constipation problems sometimes. Then you may have some diarrhea problems sometimes. So it's very vital for those enzymes to stay in your food. Okay, we got another question. Okay. Lunch meat. Okay. Lunch meat isn't good because it's been processed. It's been taken out. Nutrients that have been taken out, and different more chemicals that have been put in the lunch meat. It's not in its original form. That's why it's worse than uh, making you a ham, baking you a ham, and slicing your own ham up, so you'll know you got your rightfully good meat. If you want a ham or you want some beef, buy some beef and get it sliced up and cut your own slice, not in the package already. Because if it's in the package already, you got more sodium for uh, preservatives for to stay on that shelf longer, and more sugars added. So it's best to get your own turkey or ham or whatever you want and slice it up yourself. Okay, someone else. Okay, Slim Jims. Sodium, yes, sodium and other chemicals are in Slim Jims. It's been processed, ultra processed. It's been ultra processed, and it's been going through some more processes to make that a Slim Jim. All right. What else do we lose in food? Okay, I just said that what we lose in food is the natural sugars, vitamins, fats, enzymes, all that we lose in food that our body needs to break down our food, help us to turn substances into different things in our stomach. So a lot of people going through with stomach problems because they eating a lot of ultra processed foods, which is not good. So got to be careful of that. All right. He used to love Slim Jim. Okay. All right, you can make your own. That's right, a lot of sodium in them. You don't supposed to get but 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. And just by packaging these things in the package, remember it's 70% of sodium just by packaging them. And then they're adding more sodium to preserve them. So you got over the amount of sodium that you need already. All right. Let's see. Another person question saying, what did you say Mountain Dew do to you? Mountain Dew got a chemical in it called brominated vegetable oil, BVO. which is there's such no such thing as a vegetable oil, so it's like a man-made thing, and it's very toxic chemical. It's caused a problem with your skin. It causes problem with your memory loss, mess with your brain, and everybody need all the memory that we can get. So it's very toxic when you drink over 2 liters of Mountain Dew a day. And in this hot weather, people sit there and drink, and don't realize uh, what are they really doing to their body. So it can cause memory, and also a Mountain Dew over 2 liters a day can cause nerve problems. And a lot of people are nervous, and because it got a lot of caffeine in it too, and the sugar level is high. Remember, 25 grams of sugar a day and 36 grams of sugar for men and 25 for women a day. When you go over that grams of sugar, you run into some problems to your body. So, called nerve problem, memory loss, and skin problems. And very toxic for your body. Mountain Dew is very, very toxic. All right. Let's see. That's what I'm going into right now. The harmful chemicals when they use go into the ultra process of the food, the common chemical. One of them was that BVAO, which is brominated vegetable oil. Let's see. Another chemical is the carrageenan, CARRAGEEN, carrageenan. They use that to thicken foods, like you thicken your milk or your uh, pudding and stuff like that. And when you start thickening stuff with this chemical here, it's very cancer causing. And it's also called irritable bowel syndrome. A lot of people got very bad intestines, irritated a lot, and it could be because they are eating these ultra processed foods that's got this collagen in it, and it's mixed with the stomach acid and makes the food worse. It makes the food worse when it sticks with it mixed with the stomach acids and very cancer causing. Let's see. We are going to another chemical, which is red dye 40. Red dye 40 is a synthetic man-made food dye. Man-made by food dye. It's carcinogenic, very cancer causing. It's in fruit punch, those little twister candies. It's in all kind of candies. It's got all these colors in it. It's in some of the juices. Remember, you want 100% juice. If it's not 100% pineapple juice, the apple juice, grape juice, whatever, it's got these chemicals in those juices to preserve them. They put them in and they make them look very, very appealing to the eyes, very, very good to the eyes. Yeah, that's what these chemicals would do. Red dye 40. It's another chemical. Another chemical is titanium dioxide, and this damage your DNA in your body. Titanium dioxide. That's another chemical they use. When you go messing with your DNA in your body, that's why a lot of children coming out now with autism and all kind of stuff they're coming out with now. And especially with a mother that's pregnant, You need to be very, very careful not to eat these kind of foods with these ultra processed foods because they can damage your child and how your child come out. So, and they are in some gum, some candy, some coffee creamers, titanium dioxide, very dangerous chemical, damaging your DNA. All right, let's see. Those are some of the major chemicals that are in, besides the increasing of the sodium, increasing of the sugar over the recommended doses. Those are the most dangerous chemicals. And there are many more chemicals that they add in certain foods, different types of foods. Let's see, someone sent me another question here. What is the mortality rate uh, of these ultra processed foods? Mortality rate increases when you go over 4 servings of these foods a day. The mortality rate increases 62%. Every 4 servings of these processed foods a day. And a lot of these processed foods are in fast foods. And people eat out all day long fast foods at times. So they decreasing the death rate by 62% when they go over 4 servings of it a day. And every other serving other than those 4 servings, they increasing it 18%. So it's very detrimental not to eat these ultra processed foods. And it's going to depend on your lifestyle, how these ultra processed foods affect your body and how fast they affect your body. But you mixing your lifestyle with drinking, drugging, smoking, you speeding everything up that these ultra processing food do for your body. Okay, another question. what I advise to buy the food to the closest to the natural state that they are. And I gave you a list of the natural food state, like the grains, the seeds, the nuts, the oats, the meat, just like it is. It had much or little or no processing about it, nothing added to it. Take it, cook it yourself, eat in yourself, so you'll know what's in that food. The more home cooked you eat, the better your health gonna be. The more better your health gonna be, because you know yourself what's in that food. So you want to eat the whole foods just like they are as much as possible. You want sweeten, grab the fruits. Grab more of the fruits. Fruits are excellent with many, many nutrients in it. Let's see. Yes. I've given some already. As I'm going along, I'm giving some examples of ultra processed foods as I'm going along with the chemicals. Uh, you got the candies, the cookies, the baked goods, all the sweets that's out of its original state. If it's not fruit, just like it was made, and it's cookies, candies with different uh, artificial sweeteners and stuff added to it, preservatives and stuff added to it. It's ultra processed. Okay. Let's see. What are some examples of nutritional contents that's not to be altered much? Okay, as the as that same question right there, you got your regular foods that have not been altered much, and they more in its an original state. The vegetables, the oats, the some pastas, eggs, coffee, herbs, oils, fats, some sugars, like you got the honey, it in its original state, syrup in its original state. They take the cane and chop up the cane and make the syrup out the cane, salt, and when you freezing, they freeze it. It's still in its original state. It's just frozen. That's a little processing. They refrigerate it. That's very little processing. They ferment it. That means they put a little sugar in it. They might put a little lactic acid in it. They might put a little carbohydrate in it. That's a little processing of it. They put them in them vacuum bags. That's a little processing of the food. Okay. I get guilty of eating sometimes some cookies, but I try to eat them from a reputable place um, that deal with a lot of natural sugar, like Panera Bread. I love their cookies because they usually use the natural sugar. They don't do a lot of preserving to their foods. And I love oatmeal raisins. That's what I'm guilty of. Hmm. All right, let's see. And they also said what's an example of nutritional contents and raw contents, like olives. They use olives and make olive oil out of it. That's very little processing. So that's a regular processing to me. So they're not doing much with the olive. Just like grapes, they take the grapes and they wash the grapes and pack them up. That's no processing except for the physical processing of put them in a package. All right, let's see. Somebody else got another question here. It says, explain two types of processing that with that mechanical processing and the chemical processing. Now, mechanical processing was extrusion when they do it with the machinery and they use metals and they like what they call a cross section of the product that they doing, and they not adding and they not making up chemicals out of it. They just doing some mechanical stuff with the product. Like corn, they do carry corn through different sections to shuck it to get the corn out. Uh, Whatever, they grind it up. They grinding up stuff. They mix up stuff. They chop up stuff. They call what you call emulsifying. They mix water and oil to different to cause a different form of the food that they dealing with. All those equipments are involved. That's mechanical processing, which is good. A little or no processing at all. And that's the kind of foods that you want to deal with right there. A little or no processing, mechanical processing. The other processing is chemical processing, which is the one that's causing the problem. The chemical processing usually deal with ultra processing, what they call cosmetic processing. That's when it comes with the refining and putting in more ingredients and causing high heat and different chemicals to be come out the high heat, artificial coloring and the dye and dyes, the different dyes in the foods. So you got no nutrients, very little nutrients left uh, in the food. Uh, Enzymes are being taken out. You got colors being added to the foods. That's chemical processing, not ultra processing of the food. Sweeteners being put in, artificial sweeteners being put in the food. Uh, you got your packaged meats, sausage, wieners, and all them kind of packaged meats, crackers, chips, um, noodles. All these are all ultra processed food. So you got to be very careful with ultra processed food, which is chemical processing food. They don't put all this extra stuff to bring a longer shelf life and to make it look appealing to you, and your taste buds be it release that hormone, the dopamine. Your taste buds just taste good to you. The sugar making it more appealing, the coloring, the artificial dye, and all those chemicals that I said earlier are in there, are produced in that food and causing carcinogenic results, which is cancer causing, along with the DNA uh, problems, mental problems to be produced. All right. Did I see another question? No. All right. All right. All right. All right. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. Yes. Favorite processed food when I was a kid? Candy, of course, just like every other child. I loved candy and I loved M&Ms. Yes. Yes. Of course. Candy, sweets, very hyper. Moved around a lot. Yes. All right. I got another question here. Said, what are whole foods? Whole foods are minimal or no processing of the food at all. That's what whole foods are all about. Do I still have candy today? No, no, no. Unless I deal with a little bit of dark chocolate if I want any candy, but I very certain will have any dark chocolate. So if you want some chocolate, the best kind is dark chocolate. It's got some nutritional value still in there because of the cocoa they got in there. And it hadn't been, all the chemicals have not been the nutrients that may help your body, have not been taken out like the milk chocolate. A lot of people love chocolate. I know they love chocolate. So you want in the chocolate, deal with a small amount of dark chocolate. All right. So whole foods, the answer to whole foods are minimal or no processing. That's what whole foods is, and that's the vegetables, the fruits, the nuts, the meats, just like they are, the legumes, the seeds, fish. Mainly fish is the whole food. No red meats. Red meats are not good for your heart. No. So you want fish, grains, nuts, legumes, fruits. vegetables, that is whole food, little or no processing. Um, yes, that's what I just got to explain, and the difference between physical processing and chemical processing, which make says food. Yes, yes. Healthier mechanical processing is a healthier processed food. Mechanical processing are those that ground that just been grounded, are being chopped up, are being mixed up. They don't use different metals to get the corn out, get the product out of the uh, vegetables, the potatoes or whatever that they mixing. They haven't used any chemicals, haven't used any additives, dyes, artificial sweeteners, added more salt than the recommended dose, or sugar than the recommended dose. They have left it as close as they could possibly can to the natural state of that product. That's physical product, mechanical, which is mechanical product processing of the food. But when it comes to the chemical process of the food, they are dealing with chemicals, different chemicals in the food, and they are making different chemicals by they turning up high heat on the food and the way they mixing the food. Uh, okay, yeah, that's all right. You didn't hear when I explained it earlier. Okay, all right. So that's your eggs, that's your vegetables, that's the physical or mechanical process on the food. The eggs, the vegetables, the pasta, the processed, unprocessed, or very low processing to the physical or the chemical process of the food. You got the sugar, like the honey, the cane sugar, the plants based stuff in the physical, the mechanical processing of the food, the fermented part, all that is part of the mechanical or physical processing of the food. That's the best kind, not the ultra processing of the food, not the chemical processing, because it's got a lot of more different chemicals that have been reduced in the preparing the ultra processing or the chemical processing food. Canned vegetables are okay if they just put a little salt in it, a little sugar in it. Canned vegetables, but sometimes they have put over the amount of recommended sodium. So you have to watch your sodium intake and your carbohydrate intake and your sugar intake in your canned goods. Some of them are very little sugar, very little salt, but there is little processing in some canned foods. Always look at your ingredients. Remember, the less ingredients, the better the food. The more ingredients on there and ingredients that you can't even pronounce, you don't want that. You don't want nothing that you can't pronounce on that ingredient. So the less ingredients, the better the product. So, but canned goods are your last results. You need to first get fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. You can't get fresh vegetables or fruits. Go to your frozen vegetables and fruits. And then if you can't get that, then you go to your canned goods. That's the way you go to the eating your food. The fresh, the frozen, and the canned goods as the last result, because you got this extra sodium, extra salt, and maybe some more chemicals in that canned good. Read your ingredients. Okay. All right. Let's see another question that someone said. What do whole food do for us? They are a very antioxidant, which they help repair the cells. Anything going to help your blood cells in your body, clean your blood cells up, you want that. So the whole foods are antioxidant, anti-inflammation. You don't want that. You don't want nothing that's going to inflame your body. Remember, everything starts with inflammation and goes to infection. And that's how cancer starts, inflammation. They're also anti-cancers, anti-flavanoids. Remember, the flavanoids are antiviral, anti-microbic. They kill the organism, stop organism that trying to grow in your body, the toxics, the poisons. They stop the growth of it, the microorganisms, anti-microorganisms. They stop mold, they stop viruses, bacteria, toxic. So whole foods do everything it need to do to stop your body from getting toxins, bad infections. Remember, people that got chronic diseases and sicknesses, they die of usually of infection, not the sicknesses or disease itself. All right. Um, and you got your carotenoids. They are in whole foods too. The carotenoids are the yellow foods, your orange foods, okay, your red foods, your plants, your beets, and includes your beets. Beets are very, very good for you, and they're good for your blood pressure. And uh, everybody got a lot of blood pressure problems, a lot of sugar problems. So you need those whole foods to help fight these sicknesses and diseases in your body. Very, very important. You need them without the chemicals, because the chemicals gonna cause more problems in your body. Anybody else? Oh, we got some more questions here. Okay, Whole Foods, very good stuff at Whole Foods. It is. It is very good stuff. It's still in their natural state as close as possible. Yolk considered, okay, is what kind of yogurt you're buying. If you find a yogurt that haven't got a lot of sugar in it, always look at your ingredients. The more ingredients, the more processed it's been, because it's been added some more chemicals and more than the normal or recommended dose of sugar, sodium. So yogurt have had some stuff done to it, but it's according to how much stuff have been done to it. They're gonna determine how much inflammation it can cause to the body, or harm it can cause to the body. Applesauce considered processed? No, no. If you get the applesauce, that's 100% applesauce. Always watch it. Watch your ingredients. What have been done to it? Because applesauce is not hard to make. And you can get apples and bake them in the oven and mash them all up, and all you got some applesauce. So watch it, and watch your dates too on your products. You don't want nothing outdated. Uh, your most of your pizzas are used with processed foods. Unless you're gonna make your pizza yourself at home with your own meat, Chop your own meat up, and you know what's on that pizza yourself. And you're gonna make your own bread dough for the pizza. All right. The process is more that the more it's done to that product, the more it becomes ultra processed. So you got to watch what kind of flour used in that pizza and what was put in it. Oh, because the apple sauce, okay, what in the original state. But the apple itself have been cooked and baked and mashed up. And it don't have to be cooked and baked mashed up now. Remember, grounding, chopping, all that's in the mechanical processing of the food. So they can ground up that apple and make sauce like that. It's according to what all they're gonna put in it after they ground it up. Whether it's gonna be ultra processed. So they start adding and taking out stuff out, but it's gonna be ultra processed. But if they use it, if they say 100% apple sauce, they just use the apple and grounded it up itself and put a little salt or a little sugar in it. It's going to be mechanical process. So it's according to what's in that apple sauce or how much, whether it says 100% apple sauce or what kind of malt. You see a 100% malt applesauce or whatever. It's going to depend on whether it's mechanical or ultra processed. Smoothie considered us. They have gone beyond. They're not using the original Spanish lettuce, whatever they put in that, whatever kind of smoothie you buying. They starting to use more powder now. I notice when they making a smoothie when you go buy it from the store. So what else is they putting? What's in that powder and what kind of powder they're using is going to determine whether it's ultra processed or not. Because it may not be organic powder, and it may have some more chemicals mixed with it when they make that smoothie that you go and buy at that store. So make your own smoothie so you'll know what you're putting in that smoothie. Out of whole food products. So then that's again going to determine whether it's ultra processed or processed food. How it's made and how many chemicals in that product. Anybody else have any more questions? We hope you enjoyed it tonight. I enjoyed it tonight. And remember, always look at your ingredients. And if you cannot read it, cannot pronounce it, it is not just process, it's ultra processed. Something else is in that product that you does not need. It's going to cause harm to your body. All right, we love you all and we thank you for the questions. And we want suggestions, what you want me to teach on. I will be teaching on diabetes next week. So any suggestions, I'm open to it. And you all have a good night tonight. And watch your product. Watch what's in your ingredients. The shorter the ingredients, the better the product. The less processing the product have done. All right. Good night, everyone. You have a long, and healthy and prosperous life. We love you.